I'm going to give everybody an idea of why the world is in the situation it is in, particularly America, the westernized, industrialized world. Not too long ago, we were considered agrarian. That meant you were self-sufficient. You grew the food you need, you built your own house, you cleared your own land, you raised your own animals. You really didn't even need money. In fact, you didn't need money. We became an industrialized nation. So we went from being agrarian, being self-sufficient and independent, to industrial, which made us dependent. And then we were dependent on names like Wall Street, banks, the rich, and the need for jobs, the corporations. We became slaves ourselves, not only for labor, but to pay taxes to keep these bloated governments going. Literally, not too long ago, a large majority of the United States still grew its own food. They had communities where they knew each other, and they liked each other, and they helped each other. Until the Industrial Revolution basically turned our cities into nightmares of crime and despair, where people, instead of being self-sufficient, have to depend on what the government can create for them, the jobs, and then the rich become their, well, what are they? We depend on them for the economy. Literally, that's what it is, people. In a way, people have been born into this industrialized world. If you look at Europe and you look at even the US, people lived without electricity, some of them up into the 1940s and 50s. And I'm going to give you a small story here, and the reason why I can say how wonderful it is to be agrarian. Both of my parents come from farms in Italy, outside of Rome. And I would ask them all the time. They came here after the war. And I would ask my dad, I would ask my mom. My mom would say, it was a wonderful life. She used to sing in the fields, gathering crops, hard work. She had 11 sisters, and they would all sing in the fields together. I know it sounds corny, but I'll tell you what, if I was going to raise children, I would rather see them work in the fields and being happy and safe than in this world that we have them out there in now. They were protected, and they grew up as fine human beings. My mom said that they grew everything. And I said, Mom, but what happens when you needed something? She goes, if we needed something that we couldn't make with our own hands, we would grow extra crops, go into the town and sell them for what little money they can get for them and buy shoes or something that they couldn't make. So it really didn't matter if they were poor, and they were. They ate, they were well fed, they had family structure, community, and most of all, they were happy and independent. That is something that is slipping away from us day by day. And I think an agrarian community with strong leadership is the only way we can get out of this mess. Unless you want to rely on all these bloated, rich fools that in the end want us all to be slaves.